I already lost my phone. I've been sitting on this couch for 5 seconds and it's already gone. So this is what ADHD looks like. There it is. Okay. Alright, hello everyone and welcome to my couch. This is where my cat sits. She's not here right now. Hopefully she'll come along. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about the DAS Pass, which is the Disability Access Pass from Disney that you use while you're in the Disney parks. I'm going to talk about the process of getting it and how it worked for me and how it works in the parks, because on my last trip I had no idea. I couldn't really find any information on it, and honestly there aren't a lot of disabled content creators like that make Disney content out there, at least that I've been able to find. If you know of any, like, drop their name below so I can go check them out. But like all the big content creators I've seen are like able-bodied people, and so it's something that I wasn't really able to figure out, and so I wung it and I learned how to use it while I was in the parks. And a very helpful cast member told me, but I wanted to have this video as a resource for other disabled people who are thinking about going to Disney before the extension of my new brand on October 1st, which you'll find out on October 1st what it is, but you can probably guess. So yeah, let's get into it. I told my mom I was making this video, and she, I like to dress, you know, how something that goes along with what I'm talking about, and this woman straight up says, "Oh, you're gonna wear brown?" And I just look at her and I'm like, was that a poop joke? It was a poop joke, because I have IBS, so I poop a lot. So let me just go get into character real quick. Okay. The brown long sleeve. I don't really have a lot of brown, but this is tan with brown on it. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, and it fits because we're talking about Disney today, which we won't be for very much longer, and you'll find out why. But it's okay. Stay tuned. All right. So first, I'm going to talk about exactly what you know on the Disney website, right, and how that actually turned out for me. All right. So first up, the Access Pass. You can register for it between 30 days and 2 days before your trip. So most things when you're planning your Disney vacation right now are 60 days. Like dining reservations, some like special activities like the lightsaber building, Savi's, or the droid depot. That's what it's called. I totally blanked for a second. Here's what it says. I'm just going to read off the website. So eligible guests can now pre-register for DAS Advance virtually with a cast member using live video chat. And then it says you can do it between 30 days and 2 days before arrival. And so during this registration chat, you will be able to work with a cast member to book up to 2 one-hour return windows for select experiences using the new DAS Advanced Planning option. You can also make additional DAS selections on the day of the visit. And once you register, you go through the registration. It's good for 60 days. So I did it for my trip in May, and I have to do it again for my trip in October. We hit 30 days later this week, so I'll probably do it a little closer. So here's what you really need to know about DAS and if it's right for you. So DAS is intended for guests who have difficulty tolerating extended waits in a conventional queue environment due to a disability. DAS doesn't provide immediate access to these experiences, but I'm just going to paraphrase here, but you still wait the same amount of time, just not in the line, just outside of the line. So, you know, if you need to like sit on a bench or eat, or in my case, use the restroom, you're able to do so. Or say if you, as an adult or you have a child with like autism or ADHD, and being in that tight queue space is a nightmare for you and for the people around you, you can take them to a less stimulating environment while you're waiting. So you're still waiting, just not physically in line with the other guests. The guest who is requesting to use the DAS must be present during the registration, whether they do it in person in the parks or on live video. So if you're the person, so like I'm the person with a disability, I called and set it up myself. If I had a kid with a disability, the kid would need to be with you while you're calling or there in person. I was trying to read this and understand. The guest using the DAS doesn't need to be present when a return time is requested at an attraction or any guest relations location. It's valid for up to 60 days, and this opportunity to pre-register is new. Excuse me, and DAS return times can now be done through the My Disney Experience app. So I didn't use DAS before my trips that I did in 2021. I was still disabled. I was just kind of in denial, which if you're disabled, you can understand it. It can be really hard to come to terms with the fact that your condition, you know, it's with you for life. It's not just going to go away. And that's how it is. So I'd like to state DAS isn't for guests who are in wheelchairs or scooters. I'm pretty sure every queue at this point, yeah, is scooter or wheelchair accessible, where they can, you know, you can either still do the attraction on the scooter or you have to transfer. That's the rundown on the website. So I'm going to kind of talk through what I did and things to be aware of when you're going. So this is a brand new system that they just like redid it recently after the parks reopened from COVID. And so like I said, I don't know what it was like before because I didn't use it. But as a disabled person, using it made my time in the park so much more enjoyable. Like, I would love to not be disabled. Like, I would love to get rid of it. You know what I mean? But I am thankful that Disney has this service in place that can help people like me. And, you know, if you've heard of the spoon theory, you know, you only have so many spoons in a day. It helps me actually make it through the day. Or I can actually spend all day in the parks instead of, you know, getting too weary to continue on with the day. So now I'm going to talk about my process. So you can start, you go online. I did it like maybe 4 days before my trip last time, which was really stressing me out, but I was in finals and it was a disaster. And then I like graduated and got broken up with, so it was like a whole disaster. So I did it very last minute. Which was fine. I still got it done, but it still did stress me out because I had like 2 days of a shot to be able to do it ahead of time. And so you go and there's like a little live chat and it like tells you how long you're in line. I was worried I was gonna have to sit on my phone for hours because usually that's how it is with Disney. Thankfully, didn't have to do that. So it's more flexible if like you're a working individual. So I sat in the live chat. I think because my trip was so soon, it has you put in when your arrival date is. Because my trip was so soon, they were able, and I don't know this for sure, but I didn't have to wait very long. And I've heard of people in the adults only group on Facebook say that they, you know, did it right on the 30-day and they waited for hours. So I'm going to assume that they probably take priority on people who are arriving sooner. So I'm going to try doing it, probably not on the 30-day, but like the Monday after, and I'll see if I have like a longer wait time. But I waited, I think what was about 20 minutes, and it really wasn't that bad. They did have me hop on a live chat, so I talked to a person. They just kind of need to see, you know, that I was a real person. And so they don't ask you what your diagnosis is. According to the ADA, you know, people can't ask you what your diagnosis is, but they can ask like what accommodations that you need. So the question that the lady asked me was, you know, what issues do you have that allow you to not wait in a conventional queue line? And of course, I was like, well, I have to use the bathroom frequently, urgently, with very little boarding. And I was ready to like talk more. Like, I don't have any problem talking about my diagnosis. Some people do, and that's totally okay. I just have no problem talking about it. But she was like, that's good. I was like, okay. I was ready to just keep going, but so she's like, well, that's good. And I don't remember if she asked me any more questions, but that was like the main one that she asked. And then to set up the 2 1-hour return times, that was actually totally through live chat. It was a person on the other end. If it wasn't a person, it was just like a really good computer, but it was a person. And so you go through each park day, and they're like, you know, you have this day, here's what's available. There are some rides that you can't pre-book those 1-hour return times. And I can't remember them off the top of my head, but they're like the biggest rides basically in each park. So it was Space Mountain, Seven Dwarves, Everest, Flight of Passage, I think Frozen or Remy was one. Oh, Tower of Terror, Rise of Resistance, and like maybe Mickey. Not Tower of Terror. I did get one for Tower of Terror. I think it was Mickey and Minnie's in Rise of Resistance? I don't know. I can't remember. Or maybe it might have been Slinky Dog. Whatever. I don't remember. You can Google it. I could tell you, but it changes so much with all the new rides. So, like, who knows? So, yeah, there's certain rides that you can't do it with, but most of them you can. And you get 2 that you can book, like, pre-book the 1-hour return time. Which is really convenient because then, you know, you do still kind of have some, like, planning in your day. Kind of like how you used to do with the old Fast Pass. Forever in our hearts and our dreams, Fast Pass Plus. I miss you. Anyways, not to be dramatic, but too late. So yeah, that was kind of the process of what it was like. And then I would like to state that if you lie about your disability and about like how your symptoms affect you or having a disability or like anything, there is like a huge disclaimer, but they pretty much say like you're gonna get kicked out of the parks and like banned if you do that. Don't lie. Don't lie about having a disability. It's not cool. It's not cute. You can wait in line or pay for GD Plus like everyone else. Like, it's so incredibly offensive as a disabled person, whether your disability is visible or not. Like, that is so offensive. And, like, good. Like, you should get banned from the parks. Sorry, I said it, but... So, once you're in the parks, they changed it, I guess. So, you used to have to go to the ride and, like, tap in. And then wait, and then come back. Thank God they changed that, because... like, we would have been walking so much. And, like, I do tend to get physically tired easily, you know, because my body's, like, fighting itself, you know, disability things. So I'm so glad they changed that. So now, I would like to thank the cast member at Space Mountain. I wish I remember her name. I should have done a cast member little shout out, because she was super helpful, because I had no clue. We were there, we showed up like early at Magic Kingdom, and I had no freaking idea like what was going on. My mom was like in the line, like everyone was rope dropping Space Mountain today. I've never seen that many people rope drop Space Mountain in a day. My mom's like, I'm not waiting in that line, and I was like, cool, like, okay, like let's figure this thing out then. So I go up to the lady, and she was very helpful. And so basically what you do is you go on the app, and it took a little bit after park open to like register, but on My Disney Experience, and I'll show you if it's still up there, it might have gone away because it's been over 60 days since I was last in the parks. But so you go in your little My Disney Experience, and you go to like where the 3 bars are on the side, and it's going to take you, and it's probably not going to focus to this page. You scroll all the way down. Whoops. It'll be right here, and it'll say like DAS. And it'll say DAS and have the little DAS symbol. And that's where you click. Well, you can click that way and set up a DAS that way. Or you can go on, like, you can go on the My Day option, or you can even like search, like go to the search board and search the specific ride. It shows you the ride. I did Slinky Dog, and this thing won't focus, but when you scroll down and you see the lightning lane, this will be split in half, and it'll show you the lightning lane return time and then the DAS pass time, which is really convenient because we did also get Genie Plus, so we were able to use lightning lane and DAS together. And so it was really convenient to see, like, oh, do I want to use lightning lane on this, or do I want to DAS it? You know? So it was actually super easy to use, and it saves you a ton of walking from going around in the parks. One issue that I do have with it is when you book a DAS. So this happened, Pirates of the Caribbean, booked a DAS for Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Pirates of the Caribbean the day was having so many issues, like crazy issues. It like was constantly shutting down, and even when we were on it, something went wrong, and we were stuck in like the fire burning room for like 20 minutes, and I was really hoping we were gonna get evacuated because I've always wanted to be evacuated. And my mom was like, no, we don't want to get evacuated, and I was like, yes we do, because both me and my father are like but we didn't wind up getting evacuated. But the ride was having issues all day, so we originally booked our DAS time, and even though it was like 30 minutes, maybe even more, it might have been like an hour beforehand, it gave our DAS pass back to us in the form of a lightning lane, like what they do when you book a lightning lane and the ride's down, which can be used on any ride in the park except for like whatever the big ride is in each park. So like Guardians, Rise of the Resistance, Seven Dwarves, and probably Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom. So while that is nice because then you can just go up to any ride and tap in, we were like, that was the last ride we were really looking to do in Magic Kingdom was Pirates of the Caribbean. And so it was like an hour. It gave the DAS pass back, and then the ride actually was back up like for the time we would have had, but then we didn't have that time anymore, and we had to rebook the DAS, and it was later than like it would have been if they had just kept it and waited. So yeah, that is a little frustrating, and I kind of wish that they would do like maybe like 20 minutes. Like if the ride goes down and your DAS is in 20 minutes, like most rides can't reboot in 20 minutes. Like, okay. But you know, this isn't Rise of the Resistance with a 40-minute like hard restart, you know what I mean? So I do kind of wish that they would change that, and it'll be interesting to see on my next trip in October if that's changed at all, because I mean, it was still a fairly new system when we went, if I remember correctly. But it's kind of really the only downside to it. It was really easy to book things on the app, and I had no issues. I don't know if I just needed to go to a cast member to get set up, or if like Space Mountain was just having a delay because we were there for like the 30 minutes before. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I'm excited to go back because honestly using DAS made life so much easier, and it gave me the chance to do more because like, I mean, yeah, you're not stuck in line, but like it gave me a chance to like take care of myself and make sure, you know, I'm really drinking water and I'm eating properly, because that's, you know, my two big things that will send me into like a flare-up really fast is I need to make sure I'm eating consistently and drinking water consistently, and it's hard to like eat and drink waiting in a line queue because I did have to do it pretty constantly, and the fact that I would have to like run to the bathroom. And I did have a couple close calls on my last trip in terms of almost not making it to a bathroom and like having to leave the wine. So yeah, good times. But overall, it's super helpful. I couldn't find the answer to the question on how many people you can have with you on DAS. Let me see if I can find it, because like that doesn't really affect me because I have my parents and you know, they're the ones I go with, you know, and there's 2 of us. Although I would like to go with friends sometime. I've had so many friends tell me that they would love to go to Disney with me, because then they're like, I would love to go with like a psycho Disney person, because then I don't have to worry about anything and they'll just like know what to do and I'll have like the best experience without any of the work. And I'm like, right? Normally you would think that sounds really messed up, that your friends are exploiting you, except at least me, I love this. I love planning. I love organizing and also being in charge. So like that would be my dream. But we'll see. Also, you can only have 1 DAS at a time. That is it for me. I'm really excited to talk more about my disability and bring more awareness and how that all connects into me eating gluten-free. And I've kind of come to the mindset that having gluten-free options, like, it's not just, you know, a diet or a preference. Like, unfortunately, it's a lifestyle for the rest of us, and if you don't have gluten-free options on your menu, like, that's an accessibility issue, because there are people who literally cannot go to your restaurant. Just like, you know, say you have stairs and no ramp or other, you know, wheelchair accessibility in your restaurant. Obviously not the same. I'm not comparing disabilities, but you get the same idea. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk more about my disability and really focus this page on, you know, being a disabled content creator and eating gluten-free and eating local and supporting the small businesses around me. So yeah, that is it for me. So glad to be able to talk about this. I hope this helped people. And if you have any more questions about it, just drop them below and I will answer them if I can, or find a resource that will answer them. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, go like, subscribe, follow, all the stuff below. My socials are down below, and if you, I don't know, don't want to go down below, it's just at Gotta Talk About It. So thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Honestly, nothing fills me with as much rage as when my camera dies, like right while I'm doing my outro. Like, could you have just not held on for 5 more seconds? Anyways.